Welcome to Contemporary Retirement. Contemporary Retirement is a public interest program focused on the retirement community. Every program has segments on legal, financial, and health issues affecting the retirement community. Contemporary Retirement is sponsored in part by a major grant from the Family Heritage Trust Company.
Contemporary Retirement is sponsored by Family Heritage Trust Company. The Family Heritage Trust Company is an independent bank chartered trust company established by local professionals to provide fiduciary services including fee-based investment advice, trust services, retirement planning, and tax planning. The Family Heritage Trust Company is committed to client service in our communities. For more information, call the Family Heritage Trust Company at 301-631-5900.
Contemporary Retirement is sponsored in part by a grant from R. Thomas Murphy & Associates, P.C. R. Thomas Murphy & Associates is one of Franklin County's leading law firms, emphasizing estate, trust, elder law, and medical assistance planning.
Welcome to the Is It Legal feature on Contemporary Retirement. This segment focuses on various legal issues affecting the retirement community. With me today is Tom Murphy from the R. Thomas Murphy Law Firm with offices Waynesboro, Chambersburg, and McConnellsburg. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Good morning, Mike.
Tom, we've been doing a segment here for the last several weeks. This means you.
Yep, we've been pushing people to look at their documents and figure out if it's right or wrong and fix it if it's not right.
And they can't figure out whether it's right or wrong. We have a real simple.
Right.
If it's pre-2010 in Maryland and it's a power of attorney, it needs to be redone, period. Because Maryland has a substantial change. Then it doesn't matter, even if I wrote it, it needs to be redone.
Yeah, 15 was the big drop dead date in Pennsylvania. And so again, documents were valid prior to that, but there were changes and you need to keep your paper current.
And then we had healthcare directives that we were talking about last week. You know, they have just evolved over the years. We use a form that looks very similar to the 1993 form that we used, but if you actually read through it, we have substantially changed the power. All power rests in the family. We've removed any authority of doctors and hospitals to impose decision-making on the family.
Exactly. You need to have the ability to protect yourself and you not abdicate responsibility or control to the medical profession, even though they may have your best interest at heart.
And so you really could, just looking at it, you could barely tell the difference. But in fact, you know, we have had problems with healthcare providers trying to impose their will on families. And we find that for every time that that's right, it's wrong 99 times. And the reality is you need to make sure your family or whoever you're trusting to make these decisions has control over the process.
Yeah, and that's probably the biggest factor, that control to make sure that decisions are being made for the right reasons and in keeping with the patient's best interest and their feelings of what's right or wrong.
You know, and part of it is it's just a total seismic change in the medical delivery system. 20 years ago, you could be pretty certain that your doctor was going to be at the hospital and had a long-standing history with you. You might have communicated your interests and desires. Today, you have hospitalists at the hospital. They don't know you from Adam, and you really have no business entrusting these people with your, life when they don't really even know you as a person.
Right, and that's a good point. Where you were treating with the same doctor for years, there was an understanding of your wishes and your approach to your health. But now you're in many cases dealing with a stranger who you're meeting for the first time face to face at that time of admission.
Well, you know, when I look at our healthcare directives, we made the last really super major change about 8 to 9 years ago. And so I would more or less use the same drop dead date that we use for powers of attorney. Even if I wrote that healthcare directive pre-2010, it needs to be reviewed.
Right, it's just that the statutes, the law changes, and so you need to keep up. And it's not that we could see into the future to accommodate that, so it's a matter of fixing it to bring it current with the current statute.
And then oftentimes there's a fear of naming multiple children as alternate health care decision makers. Normally the spouses are first, that's pretty easy.
Right.
But well, I have my one son, Johnny, because he's here. Well, Johnny retired and moved to Florida, so now it's not very handy.
Right.
And more often than not, the children are all going to consult each other anyway, so many times there's no reason to have a very limited number in that environment because the reality is that they will work it out and figure it out anyway.
Yeah, and that's probably the biggest message is look at the reality of the current situation, and stuff changes. People have moved, and those reasons for naming individuals before probably have changed, and so do it right under the current circumstances.
And we have another circumstance that arises all the time. Mom has moved in with her daughter. That's great, and the daughter's the primary care provider. The other children do not live in the area. But daughter's married. And the reality of it is that she's living with her daughter, that's fine, but if her daughter's out of town for some reason, many times that son-in-law needs to be on that health care directive too, not to make final decisions, but just to help manage the process until the children get there.
Right, and you'll see that often where, you know, in-laws and everybody else is involved with the actual delivery of care and taking people to doctor's appointments and the pharmacy, so your paper should reflect that.
And oftentimes when we have an only son, which many times the daughter-in-law is very active in this process, because we as guys are not known as the best nurturers there, and so many times if the daughter-in-law is going to the, going to the doctor's appointment, she really needs to be on that document, not to make the final decisions, but just to be able to deal with the HIPAA.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's many specialized rules out there, and you need to accommodate that. But the biggest thing is make these papers real, reflect the real situation and what's going on.
So as we oftentimes look at families, powers of attorney really have time stamps on. They need to be addressed.
Unfortunately, things are getting changed by law and case law and statute, so you need to keep up.
Healthcare directives need to be paying attention to, because this stuff is also changing. Living arrangements are changing. People moving from New York to live with their family in Pennsylvania or Maryland or vice versa. You really need to address those documents.
Life happens, so keep your paperwork current.
But oftentimes, wills don't need to be changed. In this example I was using the last couple of weeks, I had a family with a 1988 power of attorney, clearly had to be redone. Healthcare directive, 1988, totally out of date. But their will was just fine.
Exactly. And so it's not the whole big package, it's the right things customized for the current situation.
Tom, as always, thanks for taking time to appear on the program.
You're welcome.
More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
Few things in life are as important as family. Leave your insurance worries to us. Write Gardner. Call or visit our website to learn how we can make insurance simple and more affordable.
Every life that meets its end leaves a heart for love to mend. Sister, brother, family, friends are left to carry on. When the loss seems more than you can bear, it's nice to know that we'll be there at Douglas A. Fiery Funeral Home. We care.
Call Ed Lowe to help put your mind at ease.
Welcome to a special guest feature on Contemporary Retirement. This segment focuses on various issues which are of importance to the retirement community. With me today is Matt Hurley from Matthew Hurley Auctions. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Hi, Mike.
Auctioneering has changed a lot in the last 30, 40 years. When I first started doing this stuff, it was in people's backyards all day, weather-related issues and so forth. Do it a little different now.
Very different. It's not what I started 25 years ago.
So tell me what's different.
What's different is we used to do it in the backyard, and it would take all day. Now it's all online, and the advantage of that, Mike, is people can bid for 2 weeks. They don't have to stay in there all day. They don't have time for that. They want to bid when it's convenient, and they can bid anytime from home.
And so people don't realize that the buying public has a different change, has a change in the way they're approaching this stuff. And particularly the buyers don't have any hesitation about buying stuff off the internet, whereas the people 30 years ago would have never considered it.
My wife did her grocery shopping last night from our home computer. She'll pick it up this morning. They'll call her when it's ready. And so that's what people do today. They buy off the internet.
So when you do an internet sale, though, you take an awful lot of pictures and visualization, and people are accustomed to buying off of those pictures.
We do video. We may do 30 pictures of one item, and it's just like holding it in your hand. Sometimes even better.
And so part of the issue here is that these weather issues, limited people, somebody else having another sale that was better than your sale, you could have nobody show up.
Oh yeah, it used to be look in the paper and say, oh no, there's 5 auctions the same day as my auction, all in Hagerstown. Right. Now it doesn't matter because they can bid at midnight, they can bid at 6 in the morning, they can bid during their lunch break from their iPhone.
One of the things I want to mention, you said Hagerstown, but I know I've used you all over Maryland. I know you go to West Virginia, so the fact is you're not geographically limited.
Last year we had an auction in California. 2 months ago we were in New Jersey, and so we really go wherever the auctions are.
So a few weeks ago we had the mid-50s, mid-century stuff on. We're going to bring up some other pictures here. It doesn't mean this stuff doesn't sell. It just doesn't sell like it once did.
It doesn't sell like it used to, but this is an interesting auction. When we went to look at it, they said that internet auctions won't work here. People don't do that.
This was in West Virginia.
This was in West Virginia, and we had a home run of an auction.
All right, so you have a ton of bidders on that. That
We do.
item brought.
This item brought $770, but what's interesting, there were 36 bids, and the successful bidder was $16,391. Just tells you how many bidders participated in this auction.
So even though the mid-century stuff is hot, this high-quality stuff
The high-quality modern furniture still does well. There's a corner chair, $260. In the backyard, that may have brought $30 or $40 or $50 or less.
And what's important is it's positioned where it was in the house, which
it
makes
looks
it
good.
Looks good there.
Yeah, this amazed me. This was an end table. It brought $520, had 40 bids. Just unbelievable. I couldn't believe it brought that.
Of course, Hinkle Harris is wonderful
Hinkle
stuff.
Harris, good quality,
Yeah.
excellent condition. They took good care of it. And this is another one. People say, but Matt, I paid $3,000 for it. Today's buyers don't want the big, large pieces of furniture. So it still did well. It had 34 bids, but it brought $850.
And I know, well, this is another Hinkle Harris piece, and I know that the family thought that this sale, the other auctioneer thought it was going to be about $15,000. What did this sale
They
end up?
expected it to bring $15,000. At the end of the day, it brought $41,000.
And most importantly, they didn't pack all this stuff up and haul it, to your...
You can see how nice that looks. The lamps are on it, the curtains, the carpet. It just looks good. Brought $860.
Which is also, don't throw anything away and don't move anything.
And imagine what this would have looked like in the backyard. It brought $2,300, but it was sitting right where Mom had it, beautifully kept, very clean, and brought $2,300.
All right, so once again, we talk to people about, the buying public today does it differently, and you can't look at what traditional sales would have brought. Yeah. You're not going to get the full value of that property unless you do it the way the buyers are doing it. The buyers don't do it the same way the sellers are doing
Mike,
it.
They want an Amazon experience. They want to log on, bid, and be done. They don't have all day to sit at an auction.
Yeah, as I somewhat said, I used to go to those auctions. There'd be one piece I'd be interested in. I'd have to sit all day waiting for it, and then something would happen, I'd miss it.
My daughter wanted to bid on a cow. We raised some cattle. It was in Texas. And so she logged on, she looked at it, she watched the video. Now, I didn't let her bid, but she could have bid from Pennsylvania on her iPhone. It's just amazing what technology's done.
And I know that you're approaching 17,000 qualified bidders.
17,000. We average between 3,000 and 5,000 every auction that actually preview.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's exciting.
So how do they get a hold of you?
They can go to our website, hurleyauctions.com, or give us a call, 717-597-9100.
You'll come visit them and help them figure out what's best.
Be happy to take a look. No charge.
Matt, as always, thanks for taking time to appear on our program.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
Tranquility at Fredericktown Assisted Living and Memory Care provides a warm, home-like atmosphere that promotes daily life enrichment. At Tranquility, our medical director is a geriatric physician. Our professionals support and understand the various stages associated with Alzheimer's and dementia. We have on-site physical, occupational, and speech therapists, as well as around-the-clock licensed nurses. For more information, give Tranquility at Fredericktown a call today, because everyone deserves great care. Let us do the caregiving so you and your loved one can embrace life again.
Come on, Dad, let's go! We're gonna be late! Hurry!
Just one more bid on HurleyAuctions.com. If you haven't visited HurleyAuctions.com, you don't know what you're missing. Whether you're buying or selling, antique cars, tractors, boats, or real estate, you can do it all at HurleyAuctions.com.
Get to know Dr. Carrie Hesley at Diagnostic Imaging Services.
What I find most rewarding is caring for women through our Women's Imaging Center. We have a caring staff that will ease patients through an ultrasound, bone densitometry, breast biopsy, or mammogram. Our health team is sensitive to emotions involved in women's imaging and understands that every woman is at risk for breast cancer. Providing the community with a center that is so dedicated to breast health and the imaging needs of women is something special.
DIS Women's Imaging Center, providing women with progressive care.
Welcome to Contemporary Health Scene. Contemporary Health Scene focuses on the health issues affecting the retirement community. With me today is Leona McTaggart, Senior Living Community Consultant. Kensington Country House. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we talk about assisted living a lot, and I'm a big proponent of assisted living because we find most people who are trying to live in their own homes, particularly with the transitory nature of children not residing in the area, support structure being spread, they're actually putting themselves at risk.
Correct, yeah. And that's, you know, a lot of people, I like to call us or refer to us as the hidden treasure in Western Maryland because not a lot of folks realize what we have to offer until they actually step foot in there.
Yeah, and particularly the Kensington, in terms of Western Maryland, really has the only dedicated dementia facility that's truly done modern style.
Correct. Country House is a 22-bed, lockdown, secured facility for people with late dementia or Alzheimer's disease.
But then I'm going to have Director Greg pull up a picture here because I just love the Kensington. Now that is actually an old hotel that was redeveloped into assisted living.
Yes, it used to be the Algonquin in Cumberland, and you know, Age Mark Corporation went ahead and transferred all those units, rooms into apartments.
Now, and that's not the dementia facility. That is the standalone assisted living facility, and it is the old hotel. And that is the old hotel dining room.
It is, and it is our grand formal dining room right now.
So when you're serving meals there, people are actually coming down as if they were staying in the old hotel.
Exactly, and we do get a lot of comments and, you know, a lot of positive comments about
and
dining
it's also
there.
menu-style dining.
It is, yes. You know, we cater and personalize to everybody's taste because everybody likes, you know, their meals prepared differently.
And one of the cool things I like about it is this is not a cookie-cutter facility. You took all of those rooms, and there's all kinds of rooms from efficiencies to bedrooms and, you know, standalone butlers' kitchens and so forth. Pretty cool.
Yes, it is. Very much so, and it still has the feel of that old hotel.
And of course, then you have a courtyard in the back here.
We do. We hold a lot of special events in that area as well. Lots of concerts and bands perform there.
And what I like about this facility is just across the bridge into the closed down Baltimore street so people can go down to restaurants and so forth.
They do, and quite often they go to farmers market as well as special events that's hosted by the city of Cumberland.
So what do we have there? That was the Country House, right?
That was the Country House, yes.
So that's the lockdown dementia facility.
It is, yes. Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that's cool about your facility, which is fairly unique in that area, is that you do have husbands and wives that have differing care needs, and so if one of them can no longer stay in the standalone assisted living, they could go to Country House, but all it is just a short walk across the courtyard for the spouse who's in the Kensington to go visit their spouse.
That's correct, and also our life enrichment program integrates all three entities. You know, whenever we have special events and activities where we do have those husbands and wives that come together to share a special moment.
And of course, you provide all kinds of support from, you know, medication management, mobility issues, dementia, as well as incontinence.
We do, yes. We have, you know, a wellness program there in addition to our life enrichment and our dining services program. And, you know, a lot of folks are, you know, they come there for the care and, you know, for the peace of mind.
And one of the other things that's happening too is we're seeing not only are hospitals discharging people when they're not ready to go home, so they're going to skilled care facilities, but we're also seeing Medicare and the health insurers putting people out of skilled care facilities that are still not ready to be fully independent.
That's correct, and you know, we're fortunate enough to have an inpatient occupational and physical therapy program as well right on site where folks can come to us for short-term stays and get that rehabilitation that they so desperately need.
So that might be, as you say, a short-term stay. A respite stay might be that they only come for 3 weeks or a month or whatever that term might be, and still could be going home, so it may not necessarily be a permanent admission.
Right. I actually had somebody come in not too long ago. It was an emergency situation where she couldn't be in her apartment. She was only with us for 5 nights, and we were able to help her out there.
All right, so the cool thing is people need to come visit. They need to understand that it's not a nursing home, which is what they think it is. It's designed to promote independent living to the maximum level that a person is able to be independent.
Correct, and I mean, we have some folks there who really don't need wellness or health care needs. It's just that simply they can't drive themselves anywhere anymore, and we provide unlimited local free transportation 7 days a week.
And the pricing is based upon the service level that you need. So if you're truly just renting an apartment, it's going to be a lot less expensive than a person who needs extensive medical care.
That's correct. It depends on the level of care.
All All right, so how can they visit you?
They can stop in any time at 1 Baltimore Street in Cumberland, or they can call us at 301-777-8800. Also, I'd like to invite your viewers to check out our Facebook page at Kensington, Cumberland, because we do post daily activities, photos, and also new units that become available.
Great. Leona, thank you for taking time to appear on our program.
Thank you, Mike.
More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
The Community Foundation continues to create great impact in Frederick County, thanks to generous donors. As our community evolves, so do we. While we don't have a real crystal ball that can predict the future, we are poised and ready to see things differently and help nonprofits, city and county agencies, civic groups, faith-based organizations, businesses, families, and individuals to solve problems within our community.
Albright Crumbacker Mal and Idtel are a full-service firm that provides elder care services including managing incoming bills, bill payment, depositing checks, balancing bank statements, and preparing, planning, and filing personal tax returns. Put your mind at ease and call us today.
Welcome to the Making Sense feature on Contemporary Retirement. Making Sense focuses on the financial issues affecting the retirement community. With me today is Doug Firey from Douglas Firey Funeral Home. Welcome to the show, Doug.
Thanks, Mike.
And Doug, finances are a big concern in terms of funerals, and there's this perception that one size fits all.
Yeah, and boy, we are so different than that these days. I think it's been almost 37 years I've been doing this now. And when I first started, everybody was really doing the same thing. It was the same style of funeral, the same visitation service, go to the cemetery, and that sort of thing. And that's so different now. So very, very diverse.
So as you work with families, the first order of business is they're in charge. As long as it'll fit within your facilities, not illegal or immoral, you're going to do it.
Right, absolutely. That's what we're there for. We're there to do what they want to do, how they want to do it. And everybody's ideas of what that is anymore is different.
And so sometimes, you're now seeing it, whereas, 30 years ago, the thought of having a funeral service in a funeral home was, a service in a funeral home was not normal, and today it's routinely a part of the process.
Very much so. And I think that's why we try to offer, we have a chapel there and we have a regular room that we can do things in. So, and not everybody's the same, so everybody picks different things, different venues. Sometimes we've had services out in parks and stuff, so people's homes, and it's just different these days.
And of course, we don't do justice to your chapel, but you do have a beautiful chapel there.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. It is nice. It kind of sets the stage for a service as opposed to a visitation, and it's a whole different mood for that. So people seem to like it, so we're happy we have it.
And of course, just the delivery of religious services has changed over the years. There was this perception that it had to be done a particular way, and sometimes that suits families, sometimes it doesn't.
Right. And that's really what there to help them guide through things, because sometimes they don't even know within their own religion sometimes what's acceptable and not, and we can try to help them move through those difficulties and those questions that they might have.
And then of course we have the issue where people sometimes have relocated, so they have not established sort of a permanent church presence in a particular facility, and yet your facility is designed to take any type of service, denominational type of service that a person wants, and so they don't necessarily have to have a home church.
Right, that's exactly right. And unfortunately, with downtown, we have some of the most beautiful churches downtown that are really nice to have services in, but they lack parking and the ability to get in and out of them. So sometimes that makes it difficult for people to use their home church.
And of course, in the past, many times the pastor of that home church would have been reluctant to come out and do it outside the church, but they routinely will do that now.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's funny, sometimes people just have a problem, maybe necessarily even seeing their memory of maybe a casket or a service at the church, and every Sunday they go to church, that reminds them of that. And sometimes that affects people. Other times it's something that they cherish.
And of course, one of the things I love that is routinely done today when you talk about memories is that disc photo show.
Oh, absolutely. That has become huge and has been for many years now. And it's a nice way to share memories. It's more of a happy thoughts, happy times, and it's on a larger television screen that people can see as opposed to small pictures being on a board or something. So yeah, people love that.
And then, so if the visitation's running a couple of hours, that thing will be running the entire couple of hours. And so people can come and see it without having to arm wrestle for a space.
Right. And even with technology these days, when we do a DVD for a family, we actually put it on our website So families who can't come or friends who are from other parts of the country who can't make it can actually watch that DVD live or just right on our website. So it's kind of cool.
And of course, they can then, acknowledge that they were concerned about the person, even though they're on vacation. They can go onto your website and let them know that they were, concerned about the loved one.
The technology has even come into funeral service for all these years of things that we can do. We can live broadcast funerals around the country, around the world, as far as that's concerned, and being able to communicate, their condolences via online is huge anymore.
And of course, you can deal with music and any type of music that they want. You have the facilities to manage that, including vocal.
Right, absolutely, we do that. We also have, somebody plays live for us for every funeral, which is really nice. I think that adds a nice touch to have live music available, and we kind of call her a jukebox because you can just kind of give her anything and she can just about play anything. So that's a nice component. A lot of people do solos. They'll do tracks off of CDs. They can do that. So yeah, a lot of variety there.
All right, and so people oftentimes think it's just strictly about merchandise.
Right. Right, and it's not. We offer something for everybody. There's a lot of choices that are available. Really, to us, it's how you honor somebody, how you celebrate somebody's life, and I think that's the more important component that we like to strive on. I tell people a lot of times that they can't even remember what the color of the casket was. 5 minutes after they left the funeral. So, but they might remember how well they were celebrated their life. So, that's important.
Thank you for taking time to appear on the program.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you from Contemporary Retirement.
Remember a more carefree time? Leave your insurance worries to us, Wright Gardner. Call or visit our website to learn how we can make insurance simple and more affordable.
These days, it seems like everything's online, and filling out claim forms and receiving and paying bills online isn't always easiest. That's why we at Quality First Insurance encourage you to just give us a call. Let us help.
Hi there, I'm Paul Sweeney with Quality First Insurance, and it's still just this simple. Our offices are open every weekday where you'll be able to call and speak to real, live people.
No detail was missed. I'm so glad that I turned to Quality First Insurance.
I've recommended Quality First Insurance to my friends who've been just as satisfied.
If you're not happy with what you're paying for Medigap, or more importantly, not happy with your service, give us a try. We're locally owned, and we take the time to provide you with the best. We are Quality First Insurance, and our mission is to provide quality products to quality people. Pick up the phone and give us a call today at 800-745-1411.